Listen, do you hear it? That is the great silence of the ocean. A silence not of emptiness, but one that holds the weight of billions of tons of water, embracing 3/4 of this planet's surface. In this deep blue universe, where gravity seems a forgotten concept, there exist creatures born not to swim, but to fly. Close your eyes and let your mind drift. Imagine an inverted sky, a place where clouds do not float idly above, but glide right beside you, colossal, majestic, and alive. This is the world of Cloud. She is the uncrowned queen of these tropical waters. She is a giant manta ray. As the first shafts of morning sunlight pierce the kaleidoscope of the water's surface, creating curtains of shimmering light that dance upon the ancient coral reefs, Cloud appears. She does not arrive with noise or fanfare. She materializes from the infinite blue like a midday dream. A massive shadow sweeps over the seabed, eclipsing the sun. With a wingspan stretching over 4 meters, Cloud glides with the pride of a creature that knows her place in the world. Her body is a masterpiece of hydrodynamics, designed to slice through the water with minimal resistance. From a distance, her skin appears pitch black, sleek as the finest velvet, glistening under refracted light. But were you granted the rare privilege to touch her, you would find it rough as sandpaper. A suit of armor tempered by nature over millions of years of evolution, protecting her from collisions and parasites. This is the Tubataha Reef, an oasis of life amidst a vast liquid desert. This is her home. Unlike her distant cousins, the stingrays, sullen creatures that prefer to bury themselves in the murky sand, hiding deadly barbs while waiting for prey, Cloud chooses a life of transparency. She belongs to the surface. She belongs to the light. She possesses no venomous spine in her tail. She has no jagged teeth to tear flesh. Her only weapons are her colossal size, the speed of a race car, and an astonishing intelligence hidden behind those deep, black eyes set wide on her head. Watch closely. She is gliding toward a rising underwater pinnacle. To other fish, this is merely a rock, but to Cloud, this is a sanctuary, a cleaning station. She slows her pace, suspending herself against the strong current, tilting her wings slightly to maintain balance. That is the signal. Instantly, from the crevices of the reef, dozens of small, colorful cleaner wrasse emerge. They do not fear this giant shadow. They know their duty. A beautiful truce of nature begins. The small fish set to work, picking off parasites from her skin, venturing into her gills, and even bravely swimming around her cavernous mouth. Cloud half closes her eyes, surrendering to the sensation. There is no hunting here, no predator consuming prey, only symbiosis, trust, and mutual reliance. Cool water flows through her gills, bringing life-sustaining oxygen to her massive frame, while the small fish enjoy a bountiful feast. But peace on the reef is only a temporary pause in a life of eternal nomadism. Cloud cannot stop for long. Her body is engineered by creation as a perpetual motion machine. As a cartilaginous fish, she must swim to breathe. If she stops, the oxygen-rich water ceases to flow over her gills, and she would suffocate within her own home. Her destiny is to move, to fly forever, even in her sleep. And as the sun begins to reach its zenith, heating the surface waters, the call of hunger begins to pulse. It is time for Cloud to leave the safety of the reef and venture out into the deep blue, where the line between life and death becomes thinner than ever. The ocean opens up before Cloud like a vast, liquid desert. Here, there are no stone pillars for navigation, no shores to anchor to, only a uniform, endless blue in every direction.
How does she know where to go? The answer lies in invisible maps drawn by the Earth's magnetic field and the temperature of the currents. Cloud reads them. She feels the subtle shifts in the water, tasting the scent of the ocean from hundreds of miles away. She is not alone in this journey. From the hidden corners of the ocean, other shadows begin to emerge. 1, 2, then dozens. They converge from the void, forming a long line, gliding like a squadron of stealth bombers beneath the waves. Their synchronization would make any professional ballerina jealous. When the leader banks left, the entire school tilts in unison, rhythmic, silent, as if sharing a single consciousness. The food of this giant, ironically, is the smallest, most humble life form on the planet: plankton. Billions of microscopic lives, transparent fish eggs, crab larvae, drifting on cold, nutrient-rich upwellings from the deep. To fill her cavernous stomach and fuel a body weighing over a ton, Cloud and her kin must filter thousands of cubic meters of water every hour. It is a task requiring infinite patience. And now, the ocean's most magnificent spectacle begins: the feeding dance. Upon detecting a dense cloud of plankton, the rays do not rush in with chaotic greed. They initiate a strategy programmed into their genes over millennia. They begin to swim in circles. One follows the tail of the other, the circle tightening, the speed increasing. They are creating an artificial cyclone, a massive funnel of water that sucks all the food into a central vortex. Look at Cloud. She is at the eye of that storm, where the concentration of food is densest. She unfurls her two cephalic fins, looking like devil horns, to funnel the life-filled water into a mouth that gapes open like a cave. And then, she performs a breathtaking backward somersault, a barrel roll, once, twice, continuous and relentless. Every somersault is a harvest of thousands of plankton. The gill rakers inside her throat act as exquisite sieves, trapping the food while expelling the water. It is not merely eating, it is a performance of visual art. In the deep blue, their white bellies flash as they reflect the sunlight, rotating, tumbling, graceful, and mesmerizing. Like giant leaves caught in an invisible underwater gale. There is no fighting, only an uncanny coordination. They understand that only by combining their strength to create that cyclone can the feast be truly bountiful. This is the wisdom of the pack, the power of community. When their stomachs are full, the frantic rhythm slows. Cloud curls her cephalic fins back into neat spirals, looking gentle once more. She relaxes her body, allowing the current to drift her along. The sun begins to set,
staining the sea surface crimson, signaling the end of a hard day's labor. But for Cloud, twilight brings not sleep, but new threats from the darkness. The sun dips below the horizon, dragging the last rays of light with it. The ocean changes color, from turquoise to deep indigo to purple, and finally, pitch black. The ocean at night is a different world entirely. Cold, mysterious, and filled with murderous intent. Cloud cannot see clearly in this impenetrable gloom. Her vision becomes useless, but she does not need eyes to see. The sensitive sensory system running along her lateral lines acts like biological radar, alerting her to unusual vibrations in the water, a disturbance in pressure, a strange heartbeat. A predator is approaching. From the abyssal depths, where light never touches, a looming torpedo-shaped silhouette appears. The tiger shark, a solitary wanderer, nature's perfect killing machine. With jaws possessing enough force to crush a sea turtle's shell, the tiger shark views the soft cartilage of a ray as a delicacy. It smells life. The chase begins in silence, but the tension strangles the very water around them.
Cloud has no claws to fight back. She cannot bite, she cannot sting. Her only weapons now are speed and agility. She beats her massive wings, generating immense thrust, tearing through the water like an arrow. The predator is hot on her heels, its serrated teeth mere inches from her tail. Cloud feels the shockwave of its snapping jaws. She drives toward a submerged reef. At the decisive moment, Cloud banks 90 degrees, slipping through a narrow crevice in the rock. A sharp, desperate turn that the bulky predator cannot mimic. The shark slams into the stone, loses its momentum, and abandons the hunt. Cloud escapes by a hair's breadth. But look closely at her right wing. A chunk of flesh is missing. An old, jagged scar remains. It is proof of near-fatal encounters in the past. In the ocean, every scar is a medal of survival. To grow old here means you have cheated death 1,000 times. But sharks, however terrifying, are still part of the natural order. Cloud's greatest fear does not come from sharp teeth. It comes from a species that lives on the land. Enemies with no heartbeat, no breath, yet infinitely more cruel. The next morning, Cloud swims into warmer waters, but here she faces walls of invisibility. Discarded nylon fishing nets, lost or abandoned by fishermen. They drift aimlessly in the sea like phantoms, known as ghost nets. They do not decompose. They drift for centuries, silent and patient. Cloud tilts her body, skillfully dodging a long strand of fishing line, thin as a spider's web, but sharp as a razor. She is lucky, but her kin are not. In the distance, the carcass of a young ray is decomposing, its body bound tight in a chaotic tangle of nylon. It had struggled, but the more it struggled, the tighter the net constricted, cutting into flesh, breaking cartilage, and finally drowning it in pain and panic. A senseless death. And there is another enemy, smaller but more dangerous, plastic. When Cloud opens her mouth to filter water, she cannot distinguish between plankton and the colorful fragments of microplastics. Bottle caps, degraded bags. They enter her body, settling in her stomach, accumulating toxins day by day. The gentle giant of the ocean is being poisoned by her own food source, by the refuse of a civilized world
she has never stepped foot upon. Surviving the traps of nature and the devastation of man, Cloud endures. She is as resilient as her name suggests, weathering every storm. And now, as the full moon rises and the tides swell, she hears another call, stronger than hunger, more sacred than individual survival, the call of creation. Cloud returns to the shallow waters, where the light is warm and abundant. But this time she does not travel alone. Behind her is a spectacular sight, a long line of more than 10 male rays pursuing her relentlessly.
It is known as the mating train. Cloud leads the way, swimming fast, weaving, performing incredible acrobatics. The suitors behind her are forced to mimic her every move. This is not coy play. It is a rigorous genetic test. Only the most persistent, the strongest, the most agile can keep up with her until the end. The weak gradually fall behind. Finally, only one worthy suitor remains. In a brief but intense moment amidst the turquoise waters, new life is sown. Manta rays are a species that reproduces with heartbreaking slowness. Cloud does not spawn millions of eggs and leave them to fate like other fish. She carries her child in her womb for 12 long months, longer than a human pregnancy. For a full year, she bears the weight of creation. She must eat for 2, swim with greater caution, carrying the tiny life across the ocean, shielding it from danger with her own body. Then the day arrives. Cloud finds a quiet bay, sheltered from the wind. Her body contracts violently. From her womb, a miniature replica is launched into the world. The baby ray emerges, rolled up like a crepe, but mere seconds after touching the cold seawater, instinct takes over. It unfurls its tiny wings, a perfect wingspan, over a meter long. It is a moment both brutal and proud. There is no cuddling, no mother's milk. The moment it is born, the child must be entirely independent. Cloud watches her offspring, let us call him Rain, taking his first rhythmic beats, clumsy at first, then steady, before swimming away into the deep blue. Cloud does not follow. She knows that the best way for her son to survive is to face the ocean alone from his very first day. She has given him the best genes, the best preparation over the last 12 months. Now, Rain must write his own story. Cloud is much older now. The black spots on her belly, her unique fingerprint, remain unchanged, but the scars on her back have multiplied. She has lived over 40 years. She has swum a distance great enough to circle the earth multiple times. She is a living library, holding the memories of the sea, witnessing reefs die and be reborn, feeling the ocean warm day by day. She continues to swim, slow, calm, and solitary. She heads toward the purple sunset on the far horizon, where the sea and sky merge into one. How empty and barren the ocean would be without these wings. Down in the deep, Cloud's life is a silent epic, reminding us of the magnificent, fragile, yet resilient beauty of nature. Let Cloud, and her generations to come like Rain, continue to fly, to continue their dance of freedom in the heart of this vast ocean. For if the wings of the ocean cease to beat, the sea will become nothing but a silent grave, and the tears of humanity will be saltier than the ocean itself.